Well, I blew up the RX7. So what happened was I was taking the car to a local charity event, which is why it wasn't on camera, it wasn't being filmed or anything. They were like, hey, we're gonna do an exhaust competition. And I was like, oh, cool. My car shoots flames. Why not? So I went and shot flames and everybody loved it. And they voted for my car and I went on to the next round. And so you'd loop around the parking lot and you do it again against whoever else is in the next bracket. It's like a tournament bracket kind of thing. And so all I'm doing is sitting there in a parking lot, revving this thing in two-step to shoot flames. On the final round, it was a Mark IV Supra versus my RX7, which is pretty cool, for the championship win. You know, revved it up, shot some flames, and then it shot some smoke because I burnt the exhaust valve up. But I won, so I got first place. This is the trophy for it. It's pretty cool. Was it worth it? It was for the children, so yes.
Now I know what you're thinking. Hondas are supposed to be reliable, but you know Ben, it's very hard on his cars, and if this was a rotary, he would have gone through like 3 of them by now, and that would have been expensive. But thankfully, this is a K-Series, which you could buy like 14 of them for the price of a rotary.
Yep, no compression.
So, we'll just buy an engine off of eBay or Facebook.
Which is exactly what we've done. So this is a K20 Z1 out of a 2005 Acura RSX Type S. And the reason that we picked this is because it's the same engine that's already in the RX-7, but it has the Type S oil pump, so you can rev it out to 9,000 RPM quite easily, and it's good to go. We bought it for just over $1,000, which is a whole lot cheaper than the $14,000 factory engine. Yeah, it should be in and out of this car all within one episode. Can you believe it? One episode to do a full motor swap. Normally we'd stretch this out to like a 3-episode series, but this should be pretty simple. Martin, you know that's a fiberglass bumper, right? I've never climbed in the engine bay like that before.
What? You never climbed an engine bay like that? We'll be removing the engine from underneath the car, so we'll have to disconnect the suspension so we can drop the entire subframe.
All right, well, the engine's out. That wasn't too bad.
No, not at all. Once I started getting the rhythm, yeah, it was really easy to pull. And it was nice to pull the whole thing.
Right, it's weird that that's faster. I mean, you can't, otherwise you'd have to pull the motor out the top because the subframe blocks the bottom.
Yeah, definitely going from the bottom is the easiest way.
Yeah, it's like a quick disconnect.
Now, only we had the quick disconnect on the harness. That would be even better.
Was this faster or slower or more difficult to pull than the RX-8 motor?
This was much more easy.
It's almost like a K-Series is better than a rotary.
Definitely better than a rotary.
Interesting.
Now that we have the blown engine pulled, let's strip down the new engine to get it ready to go in the car.
Competition clutch, that's cool.
A lot of the parts and accessories on this engine are front-wheel drive specific, so we obviously won't be using any of these. I'm not sure how many miles this engine has, but it's a Honda, so I know it'll be fine, but I don't like how dirty it is, so I'm going to clean it up so I'll be able to see any future potential fluid leaks. There's a bunch of stuff that needs to be converted on a K-Series to work in a rear-wheel drive car, but thankfully we've already done that hard work when we put the original engine in, so it's just a matter of transferring over parts from the old engine to the new engine.
The transmission that we're running is this guy, which is an AP1 S2000 transmission. This is the weak link in the setup currently. 400 horsepower is about the most you can put through this transmission. You can kind of tell why. It's pretty narrow, not a lot going on. So if I'm gonna make more power in the future, unfortunately, I'm gonna have to change the trans out. Let me know in the comments what you think I should swap it with.
This clutch looks practically brand new.
Okay, so this clutch doesn't look that bad. It is a little bit discolored, but it's gone through 20,000 miles, so that's not surprising. It does still have plenty of meat left on it, so we're gonna reuse it. on the next motor, and maybe the next one after that, who knows. But considering the number of burnouts I've done on this thing, it's quite impressive. And considering the fact that this is a stock clutch and I'm making over 400 horsepower to the wheels, yeah, that's very impressive. So I think this is definitely the formula if you're gonna make around the 400 wheel horsepower range. However, I am running an ACT pressure plate. So it's kind of an interesting combo, just extra clamping force, but still the organic sprung clutch feel of a stock clutch. It's a very nice combo, and it's a combo that we're gonna continue to run in this new motor. Okay, now that the engine is off of the subframe, I want to clean the subframe up. It is starting to show some rust. I painted this 20,000 miles ago or whatever, and it is not holding up, albeit we did drive through all 48 states. So I want to take this, strip it down basically again, and give it another layer of paint so that it doesn't rust, but also so it looks nice, and that way we can find more leaks that might happen in the future.
So we need to go ahead and take this oil pan off, switch it over to here, take the engine mount, switch it over. We've pretty much already done the rest of it, like new oil filter. We cleaned up the entire engine actually, put the valve cover, new pulley, all the accessories, pretty much almost ready to go. Ben, this oil pan is just pretty nasty looking. There's a lot of debris in here. Here you go. So I don't think it's because of valves.
Dude, what? This isn't a Subaru? I'm so confused. So it's not a burnt valve.
It's definitely not a burnt valve.
Well, I'm glad I didn't.
We assumed it was a burnt valve.
I was like, oh, maybe I can just get ahead and replace it. No, I definitely have a piston failure. Dude, I'm shocked. The engine was still running.
Here, there's more. There you go. There's more.
The engine continued to run. All right, Mark, we got to tear this engine down now. I want to know, because I could have sworn it was just a burnt exhaust valve. Why wouldn't it be a burnt exhaust valve? I was in a parking lot. The car was under no load. All it was doing was shooting flames.
You just got bad luck.
It just blew it right out the bottom. So I blew out the backside of my piston in a parking lot, pre-revving it in an exhaust competition. But I won the exhaust competition. And
so was it worth it?
You know what the trophy was for an exhaust competition? Will it fit?
Yeah.
Can we put this one in?
It's kind of close.
It is a little big, yeah. But the irony that they handed me this trophy.
Should you hand them this back?
Yeah, right? You'll notice the inside of this engine is a little brown, and that is evidence of somebody who did not keep up with their oil change intervals. It's actually a lot more frequent than you'd think. So all this kind of brown tarnish here, obviously you want it to look like silver when it's brand new, it's silver. And that's from not changing the oil frequently. But I'm not concerned about that anymore because Valvoline has a product that just came out called Restore and Protect. And what that does, it actually cleans all this out, reverses it. It's like totally new oil that no other brand has. Kind of an interesting new concept, but we can run Valvoline Restore and Protect in here and then get all of this to be perfectly clean.
So the K-Series is ready to go back in, the RX7, the transmission's on, the turbo is on. I don't know about you, but I'm ready to hear this thing start up and shoot more flames. All right, well, I'm gonna leave it up to you guys to finish up for me. Yeah, I'll go home, that'd be great.
So we could have obviously swapped this engine out much quicker, but the nice thing about this is we are actually taking our time. For the first time, I think ever, on Gears and Gasoline. So we have the opportunity to clean up some of this wiring. That we're just wrapping it with some black electrical tape, making it nice and tidy. So I've actually had this sitting on the shelf for a while. This is a scrap piece of aluminum that is kind of shaped to fit on the front as somewhat of a shroud over the radiator. So this will actually be nice way to be able to cover wires and hoses, and like the catch can line runs through here. So we're gonna put this right on top of the core support basically, and that will help clean up the engine bay a little bit more. Okay, so I have a full torque drive shaft. This is a custom made drive shaft, since obviously I have an S2000 trans in a Mazda chassis going to a Ford Explorer rear end. But we still have vibration. So I'm gonna measure the flange angle of both the transmission and the rear diff, and we're gonna see if the angle is square. If the angle is off in any way, it can cause a lot of vibration. So I wanna get the flange angles to be as on the nose as possible. And then if it still vibrates after that, then I might have to go to a 2-piece drive shaft. All right, so this front one's reading actually perfectly level. 90 degrees, which because I'm measuring vertically, figure I can get a wider hit on the flange surface. But the rear definitely pointed up. It's 1.1 to 1.2 degrees off. I don't know if that's enough to cause vibration, but we can lower the front end of this down a little bit to get that to be spot on the nose. So we might as well. That way I know for sure it's not an angle issue. 6.6 millimeters. So that's how much we're gonna shim it by, about give or take.
For the next time that Ben breaks down, which is gonna be inevitable, we're gonna go ahead and install this tow hook because yeah, he's gonna need it.
So Mark, I think we've got the engine bay all tidied up now, everything looks great. We didn't actually make sure that the engine works before doing all that though.
Yeah, I thought about that about halfway, 3/4 of the way through. But I figure, you know, it'd take you maybe a month to find another $1,000 motor.
I would hope less than that, honestly. But yeah, I probably should have done like at least a compression test on this or something, given that I found it on Facebook.
How many miles does it have on it?
I have no idea.
Well, that's reassuring.
Yeah, based on the wear of the timing belt, timing chain, I should say, probably like 150 or so, which is pretty normal.
All right, well, let's start it up.
Hey, that's a smooth K-Series. Well, there you have it. All in one episode, we've swapped this motor out and we did a bunch of extra stuff. We've cleaned up the engine bay, we've painted the subframe. The car's looking a lot better, it's running great.
Everything is looking a whole lot better.
It definitely looks a lot better. I mean, and in K-Series motors are so strong and cheap, so.
Now, you're not gonna do what you did before, right?
No, I would never do that again.
All right, no more Hot Boy stuff.
Yeah, no, I've learned my lesson.
All right, because I'm tired of working on this car.
Yeah,
you know, it's so
course.
expensive.
Yeah.
All right. Say, if he breaks, I'm gonna leave him up here.